Hello, welcome to CraftWorld Live. How are you this week? I hope you're all starting to get out and about a little bit more than you were before. Maybe you've popped along to your local park or your duck pond. Well, we've got lots of that going on in this hour. So we are introducing to you today the brand new Daisy Mae Village Green collection. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it, and it is going to coordinate with all of your previous Daisy Mae collections as well. So I'm just going to in a moment be saying hello to a few people, so please make sure you are commenting. Now we are giving away huge prizes. We're talking like over £270 worth of product today, okay? And the way you can win that, well, there's going to be 5 winners, I believe. I think there's 5 winners today. That's an awful lot, so spread across you. We have 1 winner from earlier in the week, so you need to be on our Facebook page during the week and make sure when that post gets put up that you are commenting on there. It will tell you that the winner will be announced during the live, so you'll know which one it is. So make sure you're commenting, and we'd love to know as well where you're commenting from, whereabouts in the country or even in the world you are. That would be great. So we'll have 1 winner from there, and we have 4 winners we're choosing today. So these 4 winners are all going to be chosen from these comments below. Now, whether you are watching on CraftWorld, whether you're watching on Facebook, it doesn't matter if you can't stay with us for the entire hour. I would love you to, but if you need to dash off somewhere, or if you're just going to be popping in and out, you can catch up later on YouTube as well, so don't worry about that. Now, as always, we have some fantastic deals, some brilliant offers. You can see some of them scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. Now, with these, you are going to be able to catch up on all of these deals. Those offer codes, you've got one there, VG20 on this brand new collection, for example. You can catch up with those on CraftStash, so craftstash.co.uk. You're going to be able to go there, have a look in the bargain section, scroll down, there's a section that says about our live, this week's live. You've got all the deals in there, all the offers in there, so you don't miss out on anything at all. Okay, so let's have a look first of all very quickly at this new collection. Let's see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring you down to my desk. It's getting messier and messier, okay? So please excuse, I do need to clean my mat. If anyone has any tips for mat cleaning, please let me know, because it does seem to be getting very dirty. In fact, you may be watching from Die Cutting Essentials on Facebook. You may be joining us from, I don't know, Simply Lettering page, Simply Cards and Papercraft, any of those, the CraftStash Facebook page, or like I say, CraftWorld Live. We are going to bring together all the comments and choose the winners from there, so it doesn't matter where you're watching from. Now, as you can see, my products have been used because I adore this collection. I've started making with it and I just couldn't stop. It's fantastic. So we are looking at today, first of all, we have the paper pads. Now, you'll see how you're going to be using these in just a little while. Let me just give a flick through. Bear in mind, like I say, I've been using them, so there's a few pages missing. How beautiful are these? Now, what I absolutely love is that the wonderful Claire, who's designed all of these, has gone with really striking deep colours and also the muted tones. So you can have your stamps and you can have your die cuts really being at the forefront and the focus of the image, or you can have them really blending into those backgrounds with the bright colours as well. Aren't they stunning? They're absolutely beautiful. Now, as well as the papers we have here, and they're all 8x8, so great for all your size cards, we also have a stencil as well here. So this stencil, I'm trying to get it so you can see it the best way. I should have put it on black, shouldn't I? You can see we've got a line of trees, we've got the beautiful picket fence, and then we have some larger conifers as well. So these are beautiful for making borders and creating backgrounds with. Now that would be brilliant, wouldn't it, to layer up? Maybe you do your darker trees in the background. On top of that, do some slightly lighter ones, or vice versa. And then maybe with texture paste, you could do the picket fence over the top. Just remember to mask off each way. I must try that effect actually. So giving you advice, but I don't actually always follow it myself. So then we have the stamps and dies. Now, Claire hand draws all of these. Now, we do have Claire on the video chat at the moment, so we're going to be coming to her in a few moments once we've just popped through all of these designs. Isn't that absolutely stunning? So we have here the pavilion. Now, when you're thinking about a village green and you're thinking about that village green meadow, you usually have a pavilion. This reminds me very much of football mornings, Saturday mornings with my son, getting a hot cup of tea because I'm absolutely freezing. But you have village fates in there. We've got craft fair We've got village picnic. We have the charity cricket match today. All these little signs that you can pop inside this wooden sign here, and some trees you can build up around it as well. I absolutely love that. And it's a large stamp as well, so it's going to fill the background. Of course, we do have the outline dies as well that match those. Then we're still setting the scene for you, okay? Imagine that village green. It's got to have a pond, hasn't it? A little pond somewhere, and some ducks, maybe some paper boats left over from children playing. We've got some lily pads, and we've got some beautiful sentiments there as well. So we have all of those, and we have the outline dies as well. Now keep commenting, everybody. I want to know where you're watching from, not only your location in the world. I want to also know what platform you're watching from. Are you on Facebook? Are you on CraftWorld? Where are you? So I can then have a look and see where you're from. I'll read some of your comments out in a moment and say hello to you all. So you're on your village green. What are you going to be doing there? Well, there's going to be having a picnic, having a meet up with friends at the moment. I know a lot of us are able to do that now at our local parks. What about having a game of cricket or watching a game of cricket? And it doesn't have to be cricket. It can be rounders or something like that. Really does set the scene for the summer, doesn't it? We've got some brilliant stamps here. Now, if I bring these a little bit closer, hopefully you can see. We've got that circle. I love that image. These are perfect. What's coming up next weekend? Don't forget, Sunday next weekend is Father's Day, okay? Now I say Father's Day, Grandfather's Day, Uncle's Day, all of those men in your life, the ones that are very often the hardest to craft for, these are the cards you're going to be making for with them. Aren't they brilliant? So we've got the cricket ones there, cricket themed, and we've got How's That? You Bowl Me Over, and Happy Retirement, and of course those outline dies. Please do excuse the state of them. I've used them lots and lots. So then we have the watching cricket stamp. Now, Claire obviously has to hand draw these, which I think is absolutely amazing. But she also has to name them. Now, yes, these are looking like they're watching the cricket, of course. And you've got the little boy on his football there. The little boy laying down and hands on his hips there. You've got the cat chasing the butterfly. But, of course, it doesn't have to be watching cricket with these. There's so many other things that these little lads could be doing. And you've got those outline dies there as well, and I love that on the packaging we have those grayscale images, so you can see exactly how to put the die around the stamped image, and you don't have to use the dies, but they do come in sets of 2. Now, what are these boys going to be doing? Some of them are sitting around on the floor, on the grass, of course. What about the adults? They need to be sitting on their chairs, don't they? You could be sitting by the pond in your little deck chair there with your summer hat by the side. This is perfect for retirement as well, I think. Absolutely beautiful. You could set yourself a garden scene. And then you do have those outline dies as well. Now, I know I said the deals are running across the bottom of the page, but what I really want to shout out to you is if you're spending £25 on this new collection on CraftStash, you can get an extra 20% off. Just use that code VG for Village Green, VG20, which is an amazing offer. Now, we also have the yummies, okay? We have the picnic basket, we have the ice cream, and we have the strawberries and cream. Life is a picnic. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. That reminds me of roller coasters, but I don't know why. Living the best life as well. So there, and we have the outline dies as well. I'm just going to whip through these because I really want to get to Claire and have a chat to her about this collection. Then it's drinks o'clock. And absolutely, this is summer evenings, isn't it? Whether it is at that village green in the park, or whether it's in your own garden or your own kitchen, your own living room, wherever you are at the moment having your tipple. So when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Cheers, enjoy your special day. Now, these could contain any drinks you want them to. And of course, you have those outline dies as well. Now, lastly, we have an addition to the torn edge nesting dies. So with this collection, Claire has brought out the labels. Now, these are fantastic. So we have straight edges in there. We also have the distressed edges as well. So they are so good for layering up, creating beautiful apertures, shaped cards as well, frames and such. So perfect to work alongside these, but then also alongside all of the other torn edge dies. So let me just come back, and I want to say hello to a few of you. So I've got there's so many comments. Thank you all so much for joining us. So Amanda, you're from a wet North Shields. I am sorry, it's a little bit damp here today. It's not too bad, but I have sent my children out with the dogs, so you know, good luck to them. Pam, you're from Hull, also wet and windy. I think we must have better better weather than everyone else by the sounds of it. Hello, Joe. You're also grey and overcast in Morpeth. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Laura Ann, Sleepy Village sounds wonderful. I live in a sleepy village. Terry, you made it. I'm so glad you're back in time to watch. Thank you. If any of you are just joining, have missed the very beginning, you can catch up later. On Facebook, you can re-watch the videos, but we do upload this to YouTube. We also have an additional demonstration, hopefully soon, from Claire that we'll be able to upload to YouTube as well. Hello to Wendy. Hello to Cheryl Thomas. Hello to Debbie Richards, coming from Gillingham in Kent. And you're watching on Facebook. Thank you. There's lots of pages on Facebook at the moment as well that you can watch us through. So if you're just joining us because you've just found us there, hello and welcome to you. Steph loves Daisy Mae products, and Sue is from Florida, USA. Congratulations for joining us. Thank you so much, Sue. It's great to be going all over the world. There's lots more of you, and I will get to you, some of you, hopefully in the hour as well. Shall we go and say hello to Claire, because Claire is the fantastic designer of these beautiful products, okay? And we need to have a quick chat with her. Now, sorry, but I'm demonstrating today, so you've got me instead of Claire demonstrating. But Claire's going to jump on the comments as soon as we've had a chat to her. So if you've got any questions at all, whether it be about the Village Green collection, about her products or anything else, please do make sure you pop along and you ask her on there. So let's see if we can find her. Hello, Claire.
Bye.
Yes, we've got her. We've got her. So could you tell us really what the Village Green? So what's happening with that? Where did the idea come from?
Right, okay. I don't know if you can remember this far back, but in our last live get together, which was just before Easter,
I remember.
Got people to send in lots of ideas of what they'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the ideas have come from there. The Cricket Pavilion was already one that I had in mind anyway, because it's reminiscent of spending some Friday evenings there with my son George when he was younger and he hadn't flown the nest, kind of thing. And we used to pitch up with a picnic for dinner and watch the juniors playing cricket.
Lovely.
Thing. And it's, you know, I've just centred it around that pavilion really. So
I think it's so fitting right now as well, isn't it? For what a lot of people are doing now is getting together in parks and village greens, because that's all we can do.
That's all we can do, isn't it? It's got to be outside. Not that it can be outside here today because it's raining here and windy too.
Oh, is it? It must be your side of the country then, because I'm okay at the moment. I won't say too much, but that is a beautiful card.
So I've done the pavilion, not used all of it, used 3/4 of it for two of the little boys, and I did it in sepia tones. And I don't know if you can see just in the background, I've used that lovely stencil, which
that
has got, is it 3 or 4 different elements on?
See, I thought that was a backing paper. I can see it now that it's a stencil. It's beautiful.
Stencil, thank you.
Lovely. I love that. And I love that you've not used the entire pavilion either.
No, probably down to time factor.
Oh, okay. I won't say much more then.
Honest,
it does look brilliant.
I do love these little signs that you can put on different events and what have
Absolutely. I love that as well, especially as we've got craft fair on there.
Yeah. That'd be more colourful, I think, with lots of bunting or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Make one. And from there, of course, the pavilion set out in the countryside. So I think I just had to have a little book. Now, I don't know whether you can pick it up on your camera, but there's a little duck there.
I love that. Yes, we can see him bobbing, looking down for something. I've never understood what they do when they do that.
They're feeding, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what they eat down there.
And then we've got the deck chair with the sun hat, and we've got the director's chair with the Panama hat.
Beautiful.
You could use those alongside the pavilion, but I chose to use them alongside the panels today.
That's fantastic. I absolutely love that.
And then I've taken, because it's Father's Day next week.
It is.
I've taken one of the stamps of the fold over stamp collection, and with the cricket stumps and the ball, and I've made a diagonal fold card. Hopefully this tutorial is going to get added, because believe you me, it's been blood, sweat and tears.
Yes.
And iffy internet.
Yeah, we've had some interesting conversations the last few days, haven't we?
Yes,
At all times of the day.
Definitely. This morning being the earliest, I didn't even think you'd be up at that time.
No, you did. You said exactly that to me. For people who don't know, Claire lives. You must live in a dip or something, mustn't you?
I live it.
So I think.
So it doesn't help with the broadband at all. And of course, I've got my husband working at home.
No.
So fighting between the bandwidth at the moment, and of course I lose that. I have to wait until the wee small hours in the early morning to start.
Yeah.
So
Claire wanted to demonstrate for us today. She desperately wanted to, but we thought so that you didn't miss out on anything. If your connection, if you did lose it, then I would do that for you. But you're working really hard on lots and lots of videos, aren't you, for us? So.
Yes, and this has to be my first ever video demonstration. So when it's aired,
yes,
the trumpets will sound.
We'll all cheer and throw a party at the village green for you.
Yeah, definitely. That would be nice.
So you hand draw all of these images, don't you?
They're all hand drawn, yeah.
So did you take things like art at school and such? Is that or?
Oh yes, took art to degree level really, from A level to art school, classically trained, life drawing, sculpture, all that.
Oh wow!
I specialised in graphic design and illustration. That's the job I moved into.
Ah, fantastic! So you're overqualified. You really are.
Yeah, that's because I'm not clever, but I can draw.
You are clever, and you produce the most beautiful designs. Do you know which number collection this is? How many collections you've had out?
With the village or all together?
All together.
All together. Seven. It'll be a year next. No, 2 years. A year next week since I first went on Hochanda.
Right.
And it'll be coming up. It'll be 3 years in August, I think.
Wow, that's a lot of product. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
at the moment, so we have your stencils and your paper pads. Some of those from those past 3 years have got 10% off today as well. So everyone needs to pop and have a look at that. So I'm going to let you watch this feed through Facebook. I think you're going to Facebook, aren't you? And you're going to chat. Is that on the CraftStash Facebook page?
CraftStash Facebook page.
Great. So you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll get there. Yeah. So if hang out the window or something if you need to.
Oh yeah. Now I tell you.
So everyone can come and have a chat with you there whilst I do the demonstrating for you.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Thanks a lot, Lou. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us
this week.
It's been everything's a pleasure with you, Claire. It always is. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
I absolutely love Claire there. She is so sweet, and she is so talented as well, as you can see. I mean, who can draw designs like this? So now I have the pleasure of actually demonstrating these. So I'm going to bring you down to my messy desk. I have seen that there are some comments on how to actually clean my desk. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll be using all of those probably and more later on. So now we have some quite large stamps in here. So I'm going to use my large stamp press. This is a Crafter's Companion one. You'll find lots of them over on CraftStash. Let me just do a very quick hello to a few people. Mandy from West Sussex, hello. We've got, let me flick through because there's so many of you in there. I think I've said hello to June. Rena, hello. Sue, hello. Jane Kennedy, hello. Teresa, hello. Anne, Maria, Brenda, Sarah, Sam Cowcott's joined us. We all know Sam, hello. So many of you. I think you just join us for Daisy Mae more than ever because they are so beautiful. So what I'm going to be using are two different set. So I'm going to be using the beautiful Pavilion, and this is the large one that I wanted to show you how easily it stamps. Now, I've noticed with some stamp sets, it's really hard to peel them off of the backing paper, particularly the first time you use them, but you don't get this with Clare's. They are such good quality. Now, if anyone's not used a stamping platform much before, they're really, really simple to use. So what we're going to do is pop our paper down first, just making sure that our paper is a smooth cardstock for stamping on, and make sure you're popping it down onto the grid. And if you want to, with this particular one, we do have little flat magnets, so we can just hold that still. Now, what I like to do, presuming my stamp is quite clean, it's cleanish at the moment, is just pop that to make sure it fits onto your paper. You can leave it on there whilst you replace this top panel here. So that just sits in. It's got magnets in the little legs that holds it still. I'm just going to do a little dip, pop that down, and that will pick up my stamp onto there. So I now know that that is in the perfect place. Now I'm just going to pop this over. Now my favourite ink for stamping with has to be the VersaFine ink. So if you're looking for detail, this is absolutely perfect. I'm sure either VersaFine or Memento, I'm sure CraftStash will have that. When we sell out things, we do get them in very, very quickly as well. So don't worry if anything says sold out. Just keep checking back and keep taking advantage of those offers and those deals that you're getting emailed through to you in the mornings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go onto CraftStash, sign up for their newsletter or for their emails. Really easy to do. You just need to give them your email address, and what you're going to be able to do is get offers directly to your inbox every morning. I think it's around 7 a.m. in the morning, and you will have all the deals of the day there. Now, some of these sell out really, really quickly, so make sure you grab them. And things like ink pads, your essentials like that. I noticed this week there was a brilliant offer on, they had all the brand new distress inks and things in there, so make sure you're part of that. Now, going back to the demo, I've just stamped, as you can see, I pressed down because I'm not holding a block. I can just use the pressure, and I can just press down. Now, whether you want to stand up, whether you want to use your fingertips, it's entirely up to you. Means you haven't got to grip anything or worry about getting your fingers caught underneath. Now, if I lift this off, that has stamped absolutely perfectly. You can see there. Let me just lift that up and show you how beautiful that image is. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I'll tell you what, that's perfect. I've missed a tiny, tiny little bit there. Okay, so what I can do, and I can see there's still a little bit of ink on my stamp there. So I can now reposition this, just pop it back into those slots, and I can just press down there. That is in the perfect place, and that's all done for me. So that's then all completed. Isn't that just brilliant? Now what I'm going to do is pop that to the side for a second, remove the stamp. I will clean this in a little while. I'm just going to pop that to the side because I know that needs cleaning. We also have the outline die as well there. Let's stamp a couple of these little lads so we can just see these in action as well. These, I think they are brilliant. I think with stamps, the way to judge the quality is always to look at the people and the animals, because that's where the detail comes in, isn't it? And these are amazing. Now, what would you be using these for? Father's Day? Perfect. What about, I don't know, children's birthdays? It could be a birthday party invitation, maybe, because we will get back to having parties soon. It won't be too long. So just press that down just to pick those up. So whatever size scrap of paper you're doing, you can make sure your stamp is going to be in the perfect place. I'm just going to stamp these over again so I can show you the quality. I've got a question on here from Anne. How long do you wait after stamping an image to start colouring in? With this ink, I can colour it in almost immediately. By the time the ink hits the paper, it dries ever so quickly. So really no time at all. And by the time you've put your stamping platform away, put your ink pad away, got your pens out, you're ready to go. There aren't many inks that I would suggest stamping with that you need to wait for, because if that's the case, then they are too wet and they're going to react. Oh, you can see the reflection of my face in that. So there, look at that. Absolutely perfect again. So let's just remove these magnets and show you those images. Aren't they brilliant? So he could be standing, we could have this little lad just on the board. They could be sat in a socially distanced triangle, maybe they're brothers, or who knows, but they could be all on the playing field in front of that pavilion, just hanging out, just chilling out, or they could be watching the cricket, of course, if you want them to be. It's up to you. You're building your own scenes. Now, how about working these in with some of those other dies and stamps that Claire has bought us in the past with Daisy Mae designs? There's lots to choose from, and I think these will work really well as well with those fairies. So she's had the beautiful fairies, faraway forest and such before. I think they're just the perfect size to all work really well together. So there's my stamped image. Let me just replace these very quickly. I'm not going to tuck them in because I need to clean them, but I want to put this away, and I want to be able to show you how these dies work. I'll use the largest die so you can really see what's going on, because I appreciate we've got a bit of distance there. So with the outline dies, it's really, really easy to line them up. You'll have a very slight border. Now, I love the look of a white border around an image. I would usually suggest colouring this in first before you cut it out, okay? Because you can't really go wrong with the cutting out. You can maybe go wrong with the colouring in. So just a little bit of tape on each side. You don't want to worry about cutting it out if the colouring's not perfect. So there we go. Just tack that down. I'm just going to whiz that through my die cutting machine for you, knocking over everything. I've got this just out of view. I use a Big Shot Plus, but there's so many die cutting machines on the market. Can you see all my foam applicators coming rolling? They want to be in the show. So you hear that clicking? That's not a problem. So clicking is a good noise when you're die cutting. It just means things are cutting through nicely. And look at that. So that has just cut out absolutely perfectly. And if you wanted to, you could be bending this, rolling it and giving it some dimension as well. Now I have gone ahead and I have already cut out one of these. I'm just going to put my tape onto the front there, so I keep the tape and I keep that as well. Oops. Put everything to the side so we can put this card together. This is scrap now. I don't usually throw big pieces like that away, but so I've got these, and if you look at these coloured in, so I coloured these in with alcohol pens. So that I've coloured in with, I've actually used chameleon pens, and it's really, really easy to do. And I actually found it quicker by leaving areas white, as if they'd been painted white, so white stone, for example. And it just meant less colouring for me. The timbers, or the timber shapes, I made brown doors, brown window frames, a little bit of grey, and two or three different greys in there. Really quick and easy to do. Okay, and then we've got the lads. Now, with the little boys, I have actually colour coordinated their clothing. Not because I wanted them to be particularly supporting the same team or anything, but I thought on a card, along with the red that we've got in the flowers in the background here, I thought that would work really well if we've actually got them all coordinating. It would just look more harmonious on the card. So I've done that. I've just brought in the red into each of their t-shirts there. And the two boys with the jeans or the denim shorts on, they're a similar colour as well. Okay. And then I've got one of the trees. And you can see where those chameleon pens came in really well, using that shading and that toning there. Hang on a sec. I do have some more questions, I think. I just have to try and weed out the questions from the from all the other comments, because there's so many. Oh, we have the ginger cat there chasing the butterfly. I used to have a ginger cat, so that's why I've used that. And this one, so this Summer Memories has actually come from, I think it's the Watching the Cricket stamp set, if I'm correct. Yes, the one with the little boys in. So I've stamped that and cut it into a banner shape, and I've just used that same red that I used in the clothing there to dot around the edges. And then what I did, if I turn it over, hopefully, if I can get it at the right angle, hopefully you can see I've got some little pin dots through it. And I've just used my pokey tool, or if you have something similar that you maybe used like parchment pin, just to go apply a little dot each end of the stitching, and that has made that really look like faux stitching there. So that's ready to put on my card. Now my card's going to be a little bit different to the ones I usually make. Usually it would be a white card base. I'm actually going, this is why everything's been shining, reflecting back, because I've got acetate here. This is an A4 piece of acetate. I folded it and scored it in half using a scoring tool. And then I've cut down one of these brighter background. So the paper pad is absolutely stunning. The paper is single-sided, so you're not using one side every time you want to use the other. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I've got the bright one, but like I say, there are pastels in there. So if you like to use maybe a paler colour and have your images really standing out, you can use that. So I've just got, I'm hoping these work because every time I come to one, they usually run out. I've just got some double-sided tape here. And I'm going to put this inside of my acetate rather than on the outside. I have cut this so that it's a little bit larger. So just need to get a grip of everything. I've got a slight border around the edge, so I just need to make sure that this is fitting well inside. There we go. It's always a worry with acetate, isn't it? Once it's stuck, it's definitely stuck. It's not coming off again. So then I will have, as you can see, I'll have my clear front looking through to the background, which we'll be able to lift up and see. So you can write a message in here if you want to. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop my pavilion in the back. Now you can have it on the front and it will look a bit like it's floating in the air then, but I want to anchor that down. It just looks absolutely beautiful in that meadow there, doesn't it? So this is definitely a village green that I would want to be going to. So just fold that acetate back. Now with acetate you can fold it, keep folding it one way and the other and it will hold. So while you're working I'd suggest flatten that out a little bit until you're ready. I've got foam tape on this. Now this is CraftStash foam tape. It's really wide, it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, now I believe we are on CraftWorld now. I believe we had some issues earlier on and the team have been working really hard to get us back. So if you're joining us on CraftWorld, hello, welcome. You can catch up with everything that we've talked about already on YouTube later on. Or alternatively, you can pop over to Facebook and catch up with the videos there. But I do suggest you subscribe to the YouTube channel anyway. Just search CraftStash on there because you're going to be able to get lots of other videos and demonstrations from lots of designers, not just myself, lucky you. So do make sure you subscribe to YouTube anyway. Just popping in there the tree as well, the trees there. You could do 2, 3, 4 of these if you wanted to and really build up that background. So there we go. So there I have my background and I'm going to have my lads who are chilling out in the front. So I need to start thinking about positioning. Do you know what? This is so much fun for anybody who has children. I don't know whether you used to do it. I used to have that the felt, the images that you used to build up and move around and create scenes. This is a bit like that, but with paper. So you can start building these around and sitting them together. So they maybe be sitting like this. He's lounging on the grass. These two are sitting there. Maybe they're discussing their favourite football team or something. And we've got the cat, which is just minding his own business over there, catching a butterfly. So I'm going to stick those down. Again, I'm sticking all of these down with foam tape. This is CraftStash foam tape, and what I love about it is that you can cut it down to size. So I've cut it down to thin strips here, really thin, just to sit on the back. That just means it's a little more fiddly to get the back off, but it does come off. And I'm going to start positioning these like so. So just filling in that space there where we don't have the tree. So don't think about putting everything central all the time. I just absolutely love the quality of these stamped images. It looks like die cuts or something you've printed off because they're just so good. And sit that little lad here. Now because of the scale you're getting the dimension, so it looks as if the pavilion is in the backgrounds there. So isn't that great? So for those of you who are wondering, why do I keep talking about this CraftWorld? What is CraftWorld? So CraftWorld is a brand new platform. If you've not already joined us over there, please make sure you do. We are actually now named CraftWorld Live rather than CraftStash Live. And this is because CraftWorld has absolutely taken off. We have thousands and thousands of members already. So we have over there inspiration galleries. We have forums where you can ask crafty questions or questions about anything you want to, really. We also have over there our experts. Now, I noticed this week the wonderful Phil Martin has just joined us over there. So he will have some exclusive videos. Now, when I say exclusive, I mean exclusive. You will not be seeing these videos anywhere else, only on CraftStash. So if you want to see videos from the likes of Clare Rowlands, as we've just spoken to earlier, myself, Olga Directorenko, Helen Griffin, Christina Griffiths, and of course, like Phil Martin. And there's many others. I apologise for anyone. Oh, Sam Calcott as well. If I've missed anyone, please shout at me and let me know. Please comment. All of these experts, you may wait for these lives to be able to see their videos. You don't have to. You can pop over there. You can see exclusive videos. You can even chat to them over there as well and ask questions. So please do join. That's craftworld.com. And all you need to log in, it's completely free, is an email address and create yourself a password. So while I've been chatting away, I've just finished sticking that card down there, and I'm holding it at this angle because of course you're not able to see it stood up where you are, but that's the effect that you're getting. So the lads look as if they are just in front of the pavilion there, but you can move it and you get that dimension. And of course this does then stand completely on its own, which is really, really good. Now, I've just had a question on Facebook about the tape. So, of course, when you look at the back, you're going to see the tape. The best way to get around that is to cut yourself the white images again, okay? So just die cut with the outline dies those images in plain white cardstock or any colour you want to, and use a good tape. So this is a fantastic, glue, just to glue them flat but flipped over the back of your die cuts. And then that will just be in white and you won't see any of those workings, okay? So that's the way to hide all of those, okay? So now I need to come back and I need to just refresh you through some of these offers that we've got today. So there's actually, I can show you that card properly now, stood up. You got my light in there. So we have got today the brand new Daisy Mae Village Green. Now, Daisy Mae Village Green is, as Claire was saying, the 7th collection from Daisy Mae, and it's absolutely perfectly in time for Father's Day. Because, of course, Father's Day, I mean, men in general, usually we do say, don't we, they are a little bit harder to, excuse me, hay fever here, they're a little bit harder to craft for. Sometimes we don't quite know what to put on a card. Well, these are going to be absolutely perfect. Whether you send Father's Day cards to, maybe you actually send them to your own son or your nephew or someone who has children. Maybe send it to your dad, your stepdad, your uncle, your granddad, whoever it may be. Maybe it's for your husband. I always give my husband a Father's Day card to thank him for being a fantastic father to my children. So all of these people, they need cards making, and you need masculine styled products to be able to do that with. Excuse me. Now today we have an offer on these brand new collections. I'm just getting my next demo ready for you. So we have on the new Village Green, if you're spending £25, which to be honest, when you start looking and think, oh, I like that one, and I'll add that one to my basket, easy done, you're going to be able to save 20%. All you need to do is pop in VG20. Now, as well as that, there is the chance, before you go spending too much, to actually win a bundle of these products. Now, these bundles, they're split into 5, okay? One of them is going to somebody from Facebook earlier in the week. If you did comment on that Facebook post, keep watching because I announced the winners at the end. So that's, 20 minutes away. Checking my clock there. So then we have another 4 winners. Now these 4 winners are going to be you people who are all commenting below. I don't choose those. I have somebody sitting, hello Maria, she's always sitting there waiting and watching all the comments on all the platforms, and she brings them together and she randomly chooses 4 comments. Did I say 4 comments? And you will be named at the very end. So she sends me those names. So I can't tell you who's going to win. I don't choose them. It's completely random. You're going to win a selection of these products. We're giving away over £270 worth of Daisy Mae today. That is huge. Now, I have had a look at the prize bundles, a list of them, and there are stamp sets and die sets in there. There's also paper pads in each of those, I believe. Some of them have the stencil in as well, but it is a selection, so you'll all be slightly different. So an amazing prize to win. If you are just commenting, you don't have to say anything. All we want to know really is where you're from, because we're just interested. We're nosy, really. That's the only reason. You don't have to comment where you're from to be able to win. It just helps us out so we know where you're coming from. So shall we have another look at this while I'm just getting this ready? A few more offers that I haven't really mentioned today for you. So you can see across the bottom of the screen there's a few offers. The Phil Martin Sentimentally Yours stamping, the special magazine and the kit, this is number 3. If you've had the first 2 or either of the first 2, number 3 is on pre-order now. Of course, it's only at CraftStash, so you can grab that now for pre-order. don't forget to do that because they do sell out so quickly. We of course have a deal of the day as well if you love die cutting and stamping as we're doing here. There is a Spellbinder stamp and die set. Now this is called Bubble Palace. This is from Jane Davenport and it's all the way down to $15.49 now. It's from that Marvellous Mermaids collection, so make sure you grab that. And as I keep saying, you can always catch up with us later on YouTube to catch these demonstrations. If you want to quickly go shopping now, that's fine. But if you do want to rewatch the demonstrations, make sure you make sure you catch us on YouTube, catch us on Facebook, but check out that bargain section on CraftStash. Don't miss that because that's where all of these deals are in one place. Right, demonstration time again. Looking at these paper pads, let's have a quick flick through again of this. Look at absolutely beautiful paper pads. They're all sort of this watercolor effect, aren't they? Really good quality as well. When I say paper, it's borderline cardstock. I'll just see if we've got 180 GSM, and you know what, they smell so good. And if you've ever smelt paper, you'll know exactly what I mean. I love that we have the muted tones as well, the ones that are slightly faded out. So that's what I'm going to be using today. This is the one that I'm using. And as you can see, mine's a slightly different colour. Now I wanted to go for a bit of a vintage look. I wanted to bring everything down to sort of a sepia tone if I could. So I've done that by first of all taking my backing paper. Now this really shows the quality of the backing paper. I added coffee to it. Okay, so now the best way to do that, let me see if I can find them because I had a new pack delivered today, so they're not dirty. These spray bottles, okay, from CraftStash are amazing. A few coffee granules in the bottom, a little bit of warm water, shake it up, spritz or brush, however you want to do it, spritz it on and then brush it around onto your paper, and that will give you this brown tone. And the way I got that effect where it's crumpled is while it was damp, I did just crumple it and then smooth it out. Left it to air dry, but of course you can because it's such good quality paper. You can absolutely heat dry this with no ill effects at all. And then I've just trimmed that down, ready to fit my card. Now my card base is an A4 sheet of cardstock. And I usually, to be honest, because I make envelopes later on, so I don't need to worry about what size envelope it's going to go into. I really just sort of fold this so it's just over 2/3 of the way down, and then I fold the remainder in half as well. So I make myself a step card like that, as you can see. But of course, you can measure that exactly if you wanted to. You could probably do this in a third, and this remaining bit a third, and fold that in half. So I've cut my panels down to fit that once they're dry. Please do make sure they're dry. So I'm going to be just taping these in the same way as I just did with my background on the acetate card, so using a tape runner. You could also use double-sided tape, or because we're going paper to cardstock here, you could use a wet glue as well. I just find these very quick and easy to use. And I must admit, the CraftStash wet glue is absolutely brilliant. I love it. It holds everything. Now don't forget with your stepper cards, make sure you've got some pattern paper or background under this, because you will see that once you're looking at it at an angle. You will be able to see behind there even if you can't directly from the front. So always make sure you've got something in there. So I'll read some comments in a moment. Let me just pop that somewhere where I can see them. So let me see. Oops, taking that away. We've got Rena, love them. You don't need to, no. So Rena's just said that she loves the stamps and she doesn't need to condition the stamps first. Now what she means by that is some brand new stamps have a coating on them. And what you need to do very often with those is what you'll find is when you first stamp, your ink will pool on the stamp, on the clear stamp, and it will not give you a perfect impression. You might stamp it once brand new and think, oh, I don't like that much, never use it again. But with these, with the Daisy Mae ones, you don't need to condition them. The way you would condition a stamp, if you're wondering, is you would take something like an eraser. Some people use warm soapy water and let them air dry. I just use a large eraser like this, rub over the surface of the stamp, and then that will take the surface off, that will take that coating off, and you can stamp straight away if you want to. So now I've stamped already. You've seen how I've stamped. I've stamped in a brown onto cream cardstock, and I've got quite a few images here. So I've got my duck pond, I've got my deck chair, my director's chair, I've got some ducks and things there. But I want to show you how I got that faded look that kind of ties in there with the background. So I'm just going to come back over to my stamping platform. Aren't these brilliant? Can you just think of all the different scenes that you could possibly be working at with this stamp set, with all of these? Now, I would be taking it in, and I'd be also using my memorial. I'd be using my church and my beautiful archway, the lich gate that we had earlier on, which was a little bit earlier in the year. I lose track. I don't know where this year's gone. Let me just find the actual stamp that I'm going to use before I ink it. There we go, the duck pond. These would work so well, wouldn't they, with everything else that Claire has already bought us with Daisy Mae stamps. They'd be absolutely perfect. Just lay my stamp on. So another large die. So these are the two largest dies, the pavilion and the duck pond, the largest ones of the set. So just attaching that there to my platform. And then I'm actually going to use, rather than the black in the Versified, I'm going to use brown. So this just gives us less of a harsh edge, and the detail's still there. You can still perfectly see it for colouring in, but it's not quite as striking, and it does help with that vintage look that I'm trying to achieve. So just press down. Now you can do a little press down, but there's, I mean, let's see how that's gone. Oh, that's done absolutely perfectly. Usually what I like to do, just to ensure everything, is press it down and just press all over like so. But if you lift it up, no matter how many times you lift it up, doesn't matter, because it's all in the same place. You're never going to get that awful double stamping. You know what I mean? When you're doing it with an acrylic block and you stamp and then you lift it up and think, well, I'll try and go over that again. It doesn't work. Stamping platforms are a must if you do a lot of stamping. So I'm just going to go in with some colours. Now let me see. I've got a cornflower blue here, so these are my chameleon stamps. I'll just do this corner, and I tried to use the palest coloured pens that I had. Okay, the great thing about alcohol pens, whether you use Copics or these or any of them, Spectrum Noir have some as well. In fact, I've got all of them, lots of them. But I love that when you're colouring, you don't get too much in the way of the lines. You actually get a really nice smooth finish. So let's just take my olive green and just go around some of my reeds. And also the alcohol pens tend to lighten up as they dry a little bit. So bear that in mind too. So don't panic too much if you go over something, oh, it's way too dark. Just give it a few minutes, let it sit, and very often you'll find that that will lighten up. So just running over this corner of the reeds in the pond for you, so I can show you how I got that darker vintage effect. Just need a brown there to finish this off. So I've got two nibs to the chameleon ones. You've got the bullet nib, which I tend to use more of, and then you have the brush nib, which is perfect for larger areas. Always making sure, if you can, colour in smooth cardstock rather than anything that's too textured, because that will help preserve the life of the nibs on the pen. But chameleon do come with extra nibs as well, which is really handy. So you can see I've started colouring. So just imagine we've coloured all of that in the same colour, and then I'm simply going to take a distress ink, a brown. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as it's not the deepest, darkest brown. I'm using tea dye here. Considering I actually did my card with coffee, this works really well, doesn't it? We actually only have a few more minutes, everybody, before we need to be choosing winners. So make sure you're commenting. If you're sitting watching and thinking, oh, I haven't actually commented yet, please make sure you're commenting to be in the chance of winning one of these bundles. We're giving away over £270 worth of product. Okay, and that's Daisy Mae product, brand new from her Village Green collection. So as you can see, I'm just brushing brown over the entire image, and what that's done is totally muted down those colours. So as you can see, everything's muted down. You do have that brown outline as well, but once you've die cut that out, that just looks like a nice old vintage photo. It looks beautiful. We do now have our own ink applicators on CraftStash as well. Make sure you check those out, as well as those spray bottles, because they all work so well when you're doing things like stamping. They can just introduce some new techniques for you. So now I'm going to pop this this duck pond in. I've just applied some foam tape. This is another CraftStash one, but it's a slightly smaller one, just to the bottom, because this is going to be lifted up from the card, the little step here. Now, if you use a wet glue, I was talking about glues earlier actually, and I had a question about the glue. Wet glue only leaves a ridge if you put too much on it. So if you're thinking about using wet glue and you always get bubbles and your card maybe goes bumpy, it means you're using too much. With a wet glue, you really don't need to use much at all. So just strip back the amount you're using and you should be absolutely fine to use a wet glue if that's your preference, without getting bubbles and ridges and things in your paper. Now I've got some tape as well on the two chairs just at the bottom there. So I've only gone with the bottom, nothing on the top, because again they're going to be lifted up, and I'm just bending these round slightly to give the top some shape. The bottom will have to glue on fairly flat, but we can shape the top before we do that. If you use something like a silicone glue, maybe that's one of your preferences for adhesives, you can keep that shape, can't you, with the glue. So I'm just going to stick this one to the side there, and then the same with the other one. This is how it starts getting messy. I try and keep it tidy. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to stick these chairs fairly close together, so as if they're having a little chat there. I love the ducks. So one of the little ducks that I've got here, can you see that vintage look that I was going for, that more sepia? I wanted to see some of the colours, but not too many. I'll bring the other card in a moment so you can see the comparison of the colours. So we've got one duck, quite interested in what these people have been doing. Maybe they've dropped a few breadcrumbs into the pond or something. And then we've got the little one that Claire was talking about over here, just dipping into the water there. Now I've got extra bits I can add if I want to. So we've got lily pads, we've got the boats as well, but I'm quite happy leaving. I think sometimes less is more, isn't it? I'm quite happy leaving it like that. And then I've just got, from the excess backing paper, I've stamped the word relax. I'm just going to pop that over there. I've lifted up the edges. I've actually torn the edges rather than cut them straight. Lifted those up, inked everything in brown, and then I've got this sort of vintage sepia looking card. Great for retirement and something like that, maybe for somebody's birthday if they love this style. And let me, like I say, I was going to bring in that other card for you so we can show you the difference in colours. All of that from the same collection. And you've got your really bright, contemporary, quite modern looking colours there. And then in comparison, we've got the more vintage looking ones instead. So we've got the two of them there. So let me just run through again while I've got the camera there. Now these are obviously used. I need to just clean these up a little bit. So let me go through all of these products quickly before we announce our winners. So we have brand new today, the Village Green Scenery Paper Pad. We've had a quick flick through here. Absolutely beautiful colours and scenes there, and not just with your Village Green dies. I think these are going to work so well with lots of other brands that you may have already at home. Then I have, this is a little bit of a mess because I didn't put it away properly, but I will do at the end of this hour. So we've got the beautiful Pavilion. I adore this die set. If you're just joining us, if you've only just managed to catch us, whether it's on CraftWorld or whether it's on Facebook or even elsewhere, it could be somewhere else, you can catch up with the entire show on YouTube in a little while. So we upload it there straight afterwards. Within about an hour or so, it's there ready for you to watch. So we've got the Pavilion there. They come as a set. So where you'll see it says stamp and die set, that is a set. We then have, let me take these little lads off so you can see the images. We have, this one is watching cricket. So we have the three boys, and then we have the cat, the part of a tree, or it could be a bush or something. We have watching the match, just chilling, summer memories, and then we have the outline dies as well. We also have lots here. There is an awful lot. Let me bring them over. So we have the pond. I'm not sure what I did with the pond. This is me working away. Oh, there it is. So we have the pond stamp set and die set. Don't forget, you can get 20% off of these if you're spending over 25 today. Just use that code that's just going across the bottom right now. So it's VG20. So make sure you use that code if you're purchasing today on CraftStash. And then we have our It's Drinks O'Clock die and stamp set. I love these ones. I think Pim's absolutely in one of these. The big one, definitely. But again, things like these glasses are going to be absolutely perfect for the gentleman's cards, especially for Father's Day coming up in just over a week. I really need to get some things sorted for that as well. We then have summer memories. Now, when you think of summer, if you're like me and you're a foodie and you love your food, you're going to be thinking of the strawberries and cream, your picnics, your ice creams all the time. So we have those dies and stamps as well. We have these chairs that I was showing you a little while ago. And what I didn't manage to show you was that we actually have the inside of the chairs as well as an additional if you want to cut out the bits between the legs. So they come with the dies too. We have Oh Happy Day, Lazy Summer Days and Relax on there. We still have the memorial in stock as well, I believe. That is absolutely flying, but make sure you grab that. That came out on, I think it was VE Day or very close to. So that is going to work so well with this village green. We have the stencil too. So Claire showed us a card where she'd used the stencil in the background. I absolutely love that. We even have the picket fence in there. And then we have the bowled over, which is the cricket themed ones. But you have a How's That, Happy Retirement, and You Bowl Me Over. And brand new as well, we have the torn edge nesting dies. These are the labels, so they are going to work so well with those previous torn edge dies that we've had in the past, and then with lots of things, so your frames, your apertures, maybe even your card shapes too. So now I have some winners for you, so I need to grab these. So I always hope and pray that I can pronounce your names. Is that a silly thing to worry about? But every time. So from the Facebook post earlier in the week, this is usually on Tuesday, it goes up there, so keep an eye on that. We have the winner for a collection or a selection of the brand new Village Green collection, and that is Rose Hymus. Well done, congratulations. I always have to say this, I hope I pronounce everything correctly. Now, 4 winners we have today. 3 of you, it looks like, have come from watching on Facebook. 1 of you has come from watching on CraftWorld. Thank you all for joining us, wherever you're joining us from. We do monitor the comments on every platform. Poor Maria does have her work cut out, but she spends the hour. She needs octopus arms to do it all, but she does get it. So the 3 winners who are going to be winning a selection. Now, I worked this out. You're looking at around about £70 per prize, roughly. When we spread this all out. So this is a fantastic price for each of you. Paula McDonald, Ray Jones and Belinda Blakely. Nearly got your name wrong, I apologise. The 3 of you have all won from watching, we believe, on Facebook. And then from CraftWorld, of course, we do have your username rather than your full name. We have Handmade by Emma. Congratulations, you have also won a selection of products. Now, you can either contact us by Facebooking or messaging CraftWorld or CraftStash, depending on where you're watching from, or we will get in contact with you anyway. So we need your address, of course, to be able to send those prizes out. Now, next week, of course, we have fantastic offers, so please make sure you're joining us again at 1 o'clock. I need to say thank you again to Claire for, first of all, designing this beautiful collection. Thank you to all of you for taking your time out on a Friday afternoon, for joining me and for supporting me through these demonstrations, because it does feel very lonely here. So thank you for all your comments. I do always go back and read every single one of them as well. Comment where I can, but Facebook in particular does stop me commenting after a while because it thinks I'm a spam bot or something. So I do my best to do that. Please join us next week for more amazing offers. Keep an eye again on that CraftStash Facebook page so you can find out what's coming up and be straight in with a chance to win from Tuesday or Wednesday. So thank you all. Have a lovely weekend and please do get crafting. Take care. Bye bye.